Hello again. Today I am here with something a little different. I'm going to be doing the booktube newbie tag, booktuber newbie tag. I think it's been a while. I've been doing this for about a couple of months, and I think it's about time you find a little bit more about me and my channel. So let me just jump right into it here. The first question is, why did you start this channel? And why does anybody start a channel? Basically to interact with people, to share my love of books. Also, having a channel encourages me to read more, which I enjoy. And it's only been like 2 months, but it's been really enjoyable for me so far. And I am glad I started this channel. I did other channels before that weren't book related, and those were kind of hobbies that I really don't do anymore. So it was always a good channel, but it wasn't something that lasted. I think reading, obviously, I've been reading all my life, and I don't think I'm going to stop reading. So this booktube seemed like a great channel to start. And I also like the community of booktube. I feel like it's not there's not a pressure as much as far as like how well I do my videos or how crisp and clean I talk and how good my video is. People just want to see book reviews. They just want to see you talk about books and learn about new books, and I really like that. It seems to be a very friendly community from what I've seen. Okay, question two: fun and unique things you will bring to BookTube. Um, as far as unique and fun, I mean, I feel like I want to try to improve as far as like do good BookTube reviews. I am going to have a different perspective. I don't think there are a lot of people in my age demographic that do BookTube as much. So maybe that will be a unique perspective. Um, and I think as far as what I skew towards with books, sometimes I can go all over the place, and I really don't know from what I read now to what I read a year from now where I'll be. But I think in general, I'm going to share all my opinions and hopefully bring out new books and different perspectives on books that you wouldn't get from other places. Okay, my most excited for this channel. Um, honestly, is just to encourage me to read. I think that's excitement for me because I've only been doing this a couple of months, and already I see that the amount of books I've read, the amount of books I'm excited for, has increased a lot, um, and that's really exciting. I'm excited to see, even if I get one subscriber, I'm like, hi! I get really excited about that. Or if somebody comments on a video, or I just see the interaction. It's just exciting to me because, like I said, it feels more genuine, feels more real in the booktube community. I really like the community. It's one of the reasons, like I said, as far as one of the reasons I started this channel is I really feel like it's a nice uh, place to grow on. Okay, why do you love reading? Um, I remember I saw an interview with Jason Segel that he talked he wasn't like a big reader, and then he started reading. I guess when he wanted to write his books, he started reading, and he said that when you finish a book, you feel like you've accomplished something. And I really believe that. I feel like when I finish a book, especially when you finish one of these big books, I'll finish a big Stephen King book, I'll finish a huge book, and I really feel like I accomplished something. It's not like watching a movie or even watching like a miniseries or something. You've accomplished a task. It really feels like, okay, this is something I've finished. And I don't know how else to explain it, but it gives you more enjoyment than one of the other activities that I can do. And also, reading is so diverse. The stories are so diverse. The worlds are so diverse. You can't really get that kind of diversity in movies or film or TV that you can get in books because books it's all your imagination. So you could always make it better than anything you could see on the screen. So I think that's why I really love reading. Okay, next question. What book or series got you into reading? I'm going to be dating myself on this one. Um, I remember in first grade, uh, there was a book, in a little bookshelf in the grammar school that had Benji in it. And I really wanted to read that book because I couldn't go to the movie. Back then, way back when, movie theaters weren't as big as they are now. They weren't like multiplexes all over the place, and It wasn't like somebody would just go to a movie. It wasn't an easy thing. Uh, so I didn't really go to the movies that much when I was younger. Until I got a little older, and I had an uncle who really liked movies. So seeing that Benji book, I always wanted to read it. I always would try, and never could read it. And I remember my teacher uh, was leaving, my first grade teacher, and it was her book. And she remember seeing me trying to read this book every day at recess. And she went and she gave it to me and put like a little inscription in the book. And it was really something that I really liked. So that was probably like my first real push into reading, even though I don't think I even read that book for a little while afterwards. But that was like my first push into reading. My first kind of series of books I remember reading was a series called Encyclopedia Brown, which were little tiny like mystery detective kind of stories with this young kid who would take the different people around him who would, pay him money to solve these cases or give him something to solve these little children cases. And I love those books. I used to love trying to figure out what the solution was before he would give the solution to the actual mystery. And those are probably one of the first actual books I did start reading. Okay, let's see. What questions would you want to ask favorite booktubers? You know, I've seen this around on booktube, even the booktube newbie questions who've answered a lot of people. And I'm kind of in the same boat as far as I don't feel like I want to ask any questions. I mean, it doesn't want to sound like conceited or anything. I feel like if I had any questions, I would have like just followed a video because you guys, a lot of the booktubers, they answer a lot of the questions. You have a question on booktube, you could probably find a video that'll answer that question. So honestly, I don't have any questions I would ask. Let's see. What challenges starting a booktube channel do you think to overcome? So what challenges would you have starting a booktube channel? Um, for me, the challenges to overcome is to keep my perspectives in check. Um, I did have a channel where I was doing. There were two channels I had before this booktube channel. One was both kind of related to tobacco related products. One was a vape channel, and one was something called nasal snuff. The vape channel, I had a lot of issues with it because I had a community that was very critical of how you looked and how you sounded and how you vaped, and it was and I wanted to get better cameras and better microphones and better, and it became more about actually pleasing other people than pleasing myself, and that's a challenge I think that in general with booktube I have to make sure I snip. I'm doing this for my enjoyment and for for you to watch as well, but I really just want to share my love of books with people, and I don't want to try to put undue uh, stress on what I want to do. And that's probably going to be my biggest challenge is to taper my expectations, just enjoy that people are watching my channel, and not try to put any kind of uh, extra expectations on myself or my channel as far as how fast it grows or whatever, just to come out and enjoy it and do it. And so far, it's been good, but that is a challenge I think that everybody probably would have to overcome. It's just to have too high of an expectation. Okay, when did I start reading? I think I answered that question. um, with the series I got into, I think I pretty much answered that question, so I'm going to skip that one. And where do I read? Everywhere. Um, I have, my Kindle, and I read stuff, on my phone. I read most of the time. I read at my bedside table. That's kind of where my TBR kind of list of books are there. Even though I never really share TBRs because they kind of change. I kind of like to be a little bit more flexible. Like, oh, I've read too many horrors. I need to read a couple fantasies in between here. And so I kind of read whatever I want to read. Sometimes I'll be tired of one book, or I just want to read something else, and I'll just add a second book here or there. Um, but where I read is pretty much anywhere. Mostly it's in my bed, next to my bedstand, especially at night before I go to bed. But in general, it's before I go to work, on my lunch break. Any time I have a free time, that's where I read. Okay, the next question, let's see, is what kind of books do you like to read? Well, I kind of like to read all different kinds of books. I think for me, obviously, if you see my channel, horror books are something that I enjoy reading, but I also enjoy fantasy and sci-fi and any kind of genre, especially superhero genre and that kind of things. But I like to read stuff that's different. There was a time when I read a lot of nonfiction. I don't read a lot of nonfiction now, but who knows? I may read nonfiction again. Since I started my channel in pretty much October, November, I didn't want to start it with doing nonfiction November, but maybe next year I might uh, participate more in that. But as far as what I like to read, yeah, it's mostly horror. Obviously, I like YA. YA is so vast; it's kind of hard to say, "Oh, you like YA," because it's so much different than what it was. It's when I remember reading like Twilight and those kind of books, it was like everything was a vampire book, and it's so now everything is all different kinds of books. And I'm really impressed actually with the wide variety that's out there in YA. It's some really good stuff. So that's something I also like to read. So it's horror, YA, fantasy, everything geeky pretty much. I would like to read, and I think that was all of my questions. And I hope this answered some of your questions about me. And thanks again for listening to all this stuff. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.